There is a specific sound that defines a war zone. Most people think it's the noise. Hollywood sells you the scream of the jets, the percussion of artillery, the chaotic metallic clatter of a heavy machine gun cycling 300 rounds a minute. And sure, that's part of it. But that's not the sound that haunts you. That's not the sound that wakes you up 10 years later, sweating in sheets that feel too soft, in a room that feels too safe. The sound that haunts you is the absence of everything else. It's the static. It's the moment the rhythm stops. When the banter on the comms net cuts out. When the engine hum of the lead vehicle vanishes because it's no longer running. When the world holds its breath. I want to tell you about the night the radio went silent. Not because it was the biggest battle of the war. Not because we won medals. But because in that silence, I learned the exact weight of a human life. Fallujah, 2004. The heat here isn't weather, it's oppression. It sits on your chest like a physical weight. By 0900, the temperature hits 115 degrees. By noon, the air shimmers so hard that looking down the road feels like staring through warped glass. You breathe dust. You eat dust. You sweat. And the dust turns to mud inside your collar. We were 3rd Platoon. The ghosts, we called ourselves. Not because we were special forces, but because most days we felt invisible. Just another convoy security team, running the same supply routes, day after day. You have to understand the boredom to understand the fear. War is 99% waiting. Waiting for the briefing. Waiting for chow. Waiting for the mechanic to fix the AC that hasn't worked since Kuwait. And mostly, waiting to die. You get comfortable with it. You have to. If you spent every second thinking about the IED buried under the asphalt, you'd shatter. So you build a callus around your mind. We had Ramirez, Corporal Ramirez. The guy was a radio-tuned permanently to the wrong station. He could talk for 4 hours straight about nothing. The aerodynamics of a sunflower seed. Why the McRib was a government conspiracy. He was annoying. And we loved him for it, because as long as Ramirez was talking, the silence couldn't get in. Then there was Collins, 19. Still had that recruitment poster look in his eyes. He kept a picture of his girl, Sarah, taped inside his helmet. Before every patrol, he'd check it. A ritual. 2 more months, he'd say. Then I'm buying a Mustang and a ring. We nodded. We all pretended we believed in 2 more months. And then there was Staff Sergeant Miller. Gunny, the keel of the ship. Gunny didn't talk much. He observed. He moved with the economy only veteran soldiers have. No wasted motion. When the mortars fell, he didn't flinch. He checked his watch and called in counterfire. As long as Gunny was calm, the world made sense. August 14th, 0200 hours. Intel flagged a structure along our route. Possible weapons cache. Standard knock and talk, the lieutenant said. In and out. No drama. We'd all heard that before. The prep is ritual. Magazine seats with a click. Velcro tears. Helmet locks down. You stop being Daniel Hayes, 22 years old, from Ohio. You become a weapon system. Under night vision, the world becomes green and black grain. Depth disappears. A dog looks like a demon. A trash bag looks like a bomb. We were a 3-vehicle element. Gunny was in the lead Humvee. I was in the second truck, a striker, driving rear guard. The radio chatter was light, professional. Checkpoint Alpha, clear. Roger that. Maintain interval. Eyes on the overpass. Keep scanning. The rhythm, the heartbeat of the platoon. But the air felt thin. You know that feeling before a thunderstorm, when the pressure drops and the hair on your arms stands up? It was like that. Ramirez wasn't talking about the McRib. Collins wasn't looking at his photo. Everyone was watching the rooftops. Gunny's voice came over the net. Fresh dig marks on the shoulder, 100 meters. My stomach dropped. Fresh dig marks. The universal language of IEDs. All stations halt. Scan for wires. Engines idled, low, guttural. I watched their tail lights move. 5 meters, 10, 15, and then the world ended. It wasn't a boom, it was a concussion. An invisible hand reached out of the earth and slapped the lead Humvee into the sky. The blast wave hit us. It felt like being punched in the chest by a linebacker. Dust filled everything. Then the sound caught up. Contact right. Machine guns opened up, green tracers slicing through dust. I kicked the door open. Go. My boots hit the asphalt, son, and I slipped. Oil. Protocol says you don't run into a kill zone. Protocol doesn't know Gunny. They're burning, Ramirez said. I ran. Bullets snapped past me. You don't hear the one that hits you, only the ones that miss. And there were a lot of misses. 50 meters felt like 50 miles. The heat hit like an oven door. I found the driver. We dragged him clear. Then I saw Gunny, still in the seat. I climbed up. The metal burned through my gloves. I got you. I pulled. He didn't move. I pulled harder. And that's when I saw it. The radio handset, dangling. The cord cut, severed, just like everything else. The medevac bird landed 10 minutes later. We loaded them up. The rotors kicked up a sandstorm that covered us all in a fine gray powder. I watched the helicopter lift off. It banked left and disappeared into the sunrise. And then the silence came back. The shooting had stopped. The fire was out. The radio was quiet. We walked back to the striker. Collins was sitting on the ramp, staring at his boots. He wasn't looking at the photo of his girl anymore. Ramirez wasn't talking about conspiracies. He was just staring. That was 18 years ago. I have a job now. I have a wife. I have a son who plays baseball, but I don't own a radio. I don't like white noise machines because late at night when the house settles and the refrigerator hums, I'm back on that road. I'm smelling the diesel. I'm feeling the heat, and I'm waiting for Gunny to break in, to tell me to check my sectors, to tell me everything is going to be okay. But the channel is dead, and the silence is the loudest thing on earth.